All right, 32 minutes after 5 o'clock. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins. It is our Monday. We are drying out. We have a cold front moving through the area right now. All that weather we saw over the past weekend, especially yesterday, right? All that rain, that is associated with a front that's pushing through the area that's coming through right now. And some of those dark clouds that you're seeing out there is the actual front itself, pushing in some cooler, drier air back behind it. That's caused some lift as we have a couple clouds. We don't have much in the way of showers out there, and we'll show you that. So let's get started. Let's take you out live right now. The Ascent Building in downtown St. Pete. You can see we do still have quite a few low clouds over top of the trop, but you notice starting to get a little bit of sunshine through there, just a little bit coming through, right? But we'll take a little bit more time to clear things out. I think as we go through the overnight hours, we'll start to see more breaks in the clouds as drier air works its way in. And boy, oh boy, we're going to cool things down. I'm thinking upper 40s and low 50s by tomorrow morning. And we're in the mid 70s right now with dew points in the upper 60s. So it's still warm, still kind of humid out there. But that will all change. There's the front itself. You can see that we do have a couple of showers coming through the area. In fact, let's jump over to this area right here. And you can see that basically a couple little light showers there in eastern parts of Pasco County. In fact, it's getting a little bit heavier there in the Dade City area, just to the south. Thanona, Sassa, I think most of this stays to the north, but I can't rule it out. I actually think you have a chance at least for a sprinkle in the area, but obviously it's that Dade City area towards Zephyr Hills that has the better chance for some light rain. A little bit of a downpour in there. No severe weather is expected at this point. We're just talking a few showers left over. Not all the green that you see there is rain, but a couple of those are sprinkles. And with the low clouds and the wind starting to pick up out of the north, certainly with the cooler air coming in, can't rule that out, okay? So a couple sprinkles in the area, but if you can look at the bigger picture, most areas are dry. Take a look at the rainfall from yesterday. I'm telling you, we saw, well, 4 to 5, almost 6 inches in some spots yesterday. Look at some of these totals here, especially northern Pinellas, northwest Hillsborough, and parts of Pasco County. Look at these reds you see in here. That's just west of Trinity. That is McMullen Booth, Eastlake Woodlands. 5 to 7 inches. That's estimated on the radar. Guys, when we get a tropical storm to come through here, if it's just a weak tropical storm and it's going to move through pretty quickly, we'll easily say 4 to 6 inches of rainfall with that tropical storm. We saw 4 to 6 plus yesterday alone with those thunderstorms, and really it was more rain than thunderstorms that came through the area. So that is a huge amount of rainfall. You can see it's a little bit less. You get up towards Newport Richey, we're only about 1.5 inches. It was really this area here, northern Pinellas, Oldsmar, Safety Harbor. You all saw a ton of rain. And then you move further to the south, and people are like, well, I didn't get much rain. And yeah, some folks didn't. And look at Highlands County. Some spots basically stayed dry. Sarasota County, we had some spots that didn't get much rain at all. The further north you went up, obviously up into Pasco County, you saw some more. But then even Citrus County, I mean, some of these estimates here, and again, these are just radar estimates, right? Not actual buckets. But you can see about 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch of rainfall. Nothing when you're talking 4 to 6 inches of rain for some of those other areas. So if you look at the rainfall, basically that we've seen in September, October, November, we need the rainfall. We're still in a drought. And obviously you can see the numbers here. We're down by, what is that, 6, almost 7 inches of rainfall for the year. And Tampa itself got 2.5 inches of rainfall, right, over the last couple of days. So that's the actual bucket. When you see numbers like this, typically we're referring to Tampa itself because that's where we keep the climate data for that particular spot. So yes, it has been looking there. Where's my drought? I've got the drought on here. The numbers from Thursday came out, all right, and they do not reflect what we saw yesterday. However, you got to remember, drought is more than just one rainstorm, right? You need to have it over time to add up, but yesterday certainly really helped things quite a bit. You can see the difference that we've seen from, let's say, this time last year, last week, I should say, is that we've added more of what this called severe drought. You see that there? That is this area here. Most of our viewing there, Sarasota, Bradenton, Fishhawk, Palmacia, St. Pete, Clearwater, Tampa, Trinity, West Chase, all the way up through western Pasco, Newport Richey, Hudson, and then all the way up toward Weeki Wachee as well. All in a severe drought at this point. Now, look, things are kind of saturated right now. I know because of all the rain we saw. But remember, that rain was right in this little swath right in here. It wasn't as much up in here. So there are some spots certainly that could use a little bit more. I think we get a little bit more, but we got a pretty good little dry stretch here for the next several days. You can see how bad it's getting up north. This is up in the Tallahassee area. Look at that. That is exceptional drought. It doesn't get too much worse than that. So we desperately need the rainfall. And then if you go a little bit further up into Georgia, you can see it's central and southern Georgia, southern Mississippi and Alabama, especially Alabama. But the further north, it gets a little bit on top, about where we should be for this time of the year. Moving up the coast, Carolinas. Yeah, South Carolina, a little bit of a drought. North Carolina seeing quite a bit of a drought. They're similar to us, maybe a little less of a drought than us. But they are actually getting some rain. They're actually getting some snow coming through the area right now. That's not going to show you that, but yeah, fun times for them. All right, now let's talk our temperature. So the front coming through now is going to pull the temps down. All right, and the thing is, it's going to happen pretty quickly for tonight. So if you do have plans this evening, we're going to drop quickly down into the 60s and then through the 60s into the 50s. So if you have outdoor plans through, especially 9, 10 o'clock, make sure you bring a light jacket or a sweater with you. You'll need that. It's 61 degrees right now in Crystal River, while at the same time it's 79 in Sarasota. All right, so almost a 20-degree spread right there. We are looking at the cooler air coming in, 73 in Tampa, 66 in Clearwater right now, definitely cooling off, 66 in Brooksville, 50s right now in the Panhandle, and drier air will be moving in as well. But you can see I also have the wind arrows on here, and you can see all the north winds here, north, northwest there, but you see this line right here, that is the actual front. All right, 78 Key West, 78 Miami. 79 in Sarasota, right? 79 in Fort Myers. But the cool air, obviously, the core of it's getting in here, or at least the leading edge, not the core. The core is up to the north. But the leading edge is now coming down. And you can see that on the winds. Look out over the Northeast Gulf. That's some pretty good north to northeast winds there. That's coming down the peninsula for tonight, and that's what's bringing, obviously, all of the cooler air. So not a lot of wind for tonight. Breezy at times. I think tomorrow we go 10 to 20 and then maybe 10 to 15 in the afternoon. But we are talking about that getting a little bit less as we move through the afternoon tomorrow. If you have boating plans, tomorrow's not the day because it is going to be a little bit on the bumpy side. A solid 15 knots out there, probably with gusts well into the lower 20s, generally out of the north and the northwest, going to the north and the northeast. We've got a gust right now at 24 up in Brooksville, but a sustained wind at 15 in Clearwater. So that's what's out over the Gulf, and you're going to see a little bit more wind than that. Dew points, yeah, the dry air is coming in. It's been warm, it's been muggy. I spent the weekend up in New York at a hockey tournament, but it's cold and snow and obviously dry air. But get back here, I'm almost warm in these dew points in the upper 60s and low 70s. Those are dropping. All right, 71 degree dew point in Miami. That's kind of summertime stuff for us. 66 now in Tampa, and again, that number is dropping. Look at the 40s up to the north. Gainesville already in the mid-50s. So we will get down into the 50s for dew points. In fact, some spots will be in the 40s. That's the dryness in the air, okay? And you can see it dropping as we move through the overnight hours. Tomorrow morning into around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, there you go. 49 degree dew point, very dry, low 30s up in Pensacola. We won't get that, but you get the overall picture. You can see how this is all coming southward, right? See the line down here, a little bit more moisture. There you go, and drier the further north you go. So going to make it feel a little bit better, and we'll keep it around through most of this week. In fact, here's the look all the way through this upcoming weekend. We don't see 60s and 70s for dew points like we just had through the next 7 to 10 days. All right, and that's with the front, a weak front trying to come through Sunday into Monday. May have a small rain chance there. At this point, it doesn't look like it, but you can see leading up to it, like what we had yesterday, we had dew points in the upper 60s and low 70s. Even if there was a front to come through late Sunday, we don't have a lot of moisture around out ahead of it, okay? So this is actually a really nice stretch of weather. Not good for the drought because I do think we stay dry more than anything else, but for outdoor activities, just being comfortable, things are looking pretty good. All right, this is the European model. I'm going to show you what we're looking at for rain chances over the next 7 to 10 days. That's coming up. Let's take a quick break, and we'll do that right after the break.
Before hurricane season hits, it's time to prep your home. Familiarize yourself with where your water shutoff valve is located. If backflow prevention devices are installed, get them tested annually.
Those are some great tips, and Cool Today is here to help you weather the storm. For over 60 years, we've been here to help Floridians with their cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. We can help you prepare, protect, and repair your home. Call 888-40 today.
I was driving when a Ford pickup truck barreled into me from behind, sending me to the hospital.
I knew my husband was going to need an excellent attorney, so I called Dan Newland.
I'm so glad my wife called Dan. Dan really fought for me. He won my case and got me $650,000.
If you've been involved in a car accident, allow me to fight for you. Call me now at 813-888-8000.
Thanks, Dan, for winning my husband's case.
This autumn, give your home the upgrade it deserves. Save up to 20% during California Closet's Autumn Upgrade event, making it easier than ever to transform your space with our select finishes. Whether it's a walk-in closet, home office, pantry, or garage, our designs are about more than organization. They're about creating space for what belongs. We call it practical magic, expert design that feels effortless. Visit one of our 3 Tampa Bay showrooms or schedule your complimentary consultation today at CaliforniaClosetsTampaBay.com.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. Unique quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
Okay, welcome back, guys. Looking out the window, still a little gray out there for spots. As I showed you earlier on the camera, we do have some sunshine getting through, but I think we'll keep quite a few low clouds around for the evening hours. Some of that starts to clear out overnight tonight, and the rain and the moisture generally moves to the south. We do have a couple sprinkles out there, but take a look at tomorrow afternoon around 3 o'clock. So this is not clouds, but this is showing you the rain chances. You can see South Florida will still have a little bit of rain in the first half of the day, and even for Wednesday as well, but we are dry here. And as I just showed you, we're going to have lots of dry air as well, so it's going to feel very, very comfortable outside over the next couple of days. Kind of cool days, cool nights. It's certainly chilly tomorrow, right? But very, 70s for highs, 50s for lows. It's kind of nice weather here coming up. That is your Thursday, lots of sunshine. I think Wednesday and Thursday went mostly sunny. Sunny to partly cloudy on Friday, although Friday looks like it's going to be almost a mostly sunny day as well. Obviously very dry. There's Saturday. Now Saturday will go partly cloudy. We may see some more higher clouds come in. Right now the rain looks like it wants to hold off. When you get this kind of rain that you see coming in, and if I back this up, let's go out to Friday. Watch the lower left side of the screen. Watch over here and you'll see that rain kind of move out like this. You see that? That usually comes with some high clouds. Okay, and they'll get in here before, so that would be, what do we got? That's Friday night into Saturday. All right, so we may have some high clouds around for Saturday, but right now I think the rain holds off. Small chance for a shower Saturday night into Sunday. I mean, overnight Saturday. It's a real small chance. We'll have to keep an eye on that. It is not widespread. It is not severe or anything. Now look at South Florida. There's a pretty decent chance for rain for them. Including Fort Myers, although I think even a lot of it's maybe south of there, but they'll definitely have to watch for some rain. Tampa Bay should, at this point, stay dry through Sunday, although again, I think still late Saturday night into Sunday morning may have a shower. And then look as we get into Monday, northeast winds now, and some moisture trying to build just a little bit. So we're going to pick the clouds up, I think, a little bit by Sunday and on Monday, of course, but right now, rain chances look relatively low. Now, this week, we've got Bucks in town on a Thursday. I just talked to Evans. It's not good in the sports department right now with the Bucks. The Lightning, just looking kind of a rough weekend we had there. But you can see that we've got fantastic weather for Thursday night football here in Tampa Bay. A must-win, I would imagine, for the Bucks. And Atlanta's in town. We're thinking temperatures in the 60s. It'll be dry for all of you that braved it out there yesterday in the rain. That will not be an issue for Thursday night. In fact, you'll need a light jacket or a sweater. Temperatures falling into the lower 60s. So good news there, right? At least the weather's going to be good. Now, let's talk low temperatures. This is tomorrow morning wake-up temps. So it's been warm, it's been muggy all the way through this weekend, right? But tomorrow morning, how about 44 in Crystal River? 46 in Brooksville, Tampa itself in the low 50s, Clearwater low 50s, even, mid 50s for Sarasota and further south into Highlands County. It's going to be a chilly start to the morning compared to what we're at least been used to, okay? Tomorrow, though, lots of sunshine. I will keep a few clouds around in the mix. We'll call it partly cloudy, but barely getting to 70 degrees. In fact, I think most areas along I-4 and northward will not get there tomorrow. Sarasota, yeah, low 70s, but I think Tampa stays around 69 degrees for a daytime high tomorrow. We should be in the lower 70s for this time of the year. These are the high forecast temps for tomorrow. 66 in Crystal River, 69 in Tampa, 70 in Venice. So, yeah, just barely getting there, which is nice. We'll keep it. North winds tomorrow, look at that. They'll go north-northeast, 10 to 20 knots, and it is going to be bumpy, okay? So, yeah, even on the bay, especially a northeast wind on the bay, that starts up at Apollo Beach and comes right down the mouth of the bay, right past, obviously, well, kind of past Beer Can Island, but between Beer Can and Apollo Beach, it just goes right down to the mouth of the bay, and so that gets very choppy. And that means, especially over there on the eastern side of Pinellas County, so the downtown St. Pete side, going to have quite a bit of wind, and it's going to be bumpy. So boating not necessarily looking that good. There's the 7-day forecast, and I was wondering if this was still on there. Yep. Let's go ahead and look at this one, because this one will be correct. We do not have any weather impact alerts for this week. Good news there. Again, you see the clouds kind of showing up a little bit more Saturday and the Sunday. May see a straight shower overnight. Nothing like what we just saw. Nothing at all, okay? So we'll keep an eye on it. But a little breezy tomorrow. I think the winds come down, but you're going to feel it this evening because it's going to be chilly, and certainly upper 40s and low 50s tomorrow morning on Tuesday. Look at that. It's 52 degrees. 74 today, but that was because we had all these clouds. But 69 tomorrow for a high, and then back into the low 70s for Wednesday and Thursday. Look at that stretch for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Absolutely gorgeous, and not that much bad, or it's not bad weather really for the weekend. And there's that small rain chance, but it's overnight, and Saturday and Sunday to me actually look pretty good, right? Mid 70s and 50s for lows. This is almost kind of like Southern California weather, right? And dry all the way through. That's, if I had to point out an issue here, is that it's going to be dry all week long, and obviously we have our drought issues. But again, we did get some good rain to help with that. 57 is the average low temperature for this time of the year, and you can see we're going to be pretty close to that once we get to Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, Friday morning, right? And then 75 is average high for this time of the year, and we're actually pretty close to that. So that's why I say, when we get to this time of the year, in the middle of the summer, the heat and humidity and the thunderstorms, it's like, hang in there. I know it's hot, I know it's humid, but by the time we get towards December and January, it's the perfect weather that we typically get here. All right, let's see. I did want to show you one more time this dew point trend here. Look at the difference. I mean, the same time that we have the cooler air, which obviously always usually happens, we get the lower dew points. And so not only is it cool, but it's also going to be nice and comfortable, okay? And that trend will continue all the way through. As I showed you, I don't think that even when we get towards the weekend that we see a whole lot of return ahead of that potential front. This is the amount of moisture in the atmosphere measured from the ground all the way up. And we can use that. In summertime we use this, or actually we use this kind of letting us know if we're getting into the rainy season, right? The beginning of the rainy season, and then near the end of the rainy season drops out. In the wintertime, I like to use this because you see Saturday and Sunday, that number coming up a little bit. That's the overall moisture in the atmosphere, not just the humidity down here, okay? It's not just that, but it's up above us as well. And I need to know that to give us a better idea of whether or not we're going to get some afternoon showers, or with the front coming through, how much rain there is to give us rain. Like yesterday, that number was high, okay? You can see it kind of coming up a little bit Saturday and Sunday, not a big deal. But that gives me a hint that, yeah, maybe we get a little shower out of it, and you see another one there on Thursday. We'll see if that holds. That's a ways out from now, obviously. This is a 10-day forecast, but it does give you an idea. Okay, let's take one more quick break. We'll come back and we'll wrap up.
I was involved in a very bad car accident. Called attorney Dan Newland, and it was like 1, 2, 3. Dan really got it done for me. At the end of my case, he got me $525,000.
As one of the largest personal injury law firms in the United States, my team and I remain committed more than ever to win big on your case. Involved in a car accident? Let's get started. Call me at 813-888-8000.
Thank you, Dan, for winning my case.
This autumn, give your home the upgrade it deserves. Save up to 20% during California Closet's Autumn Upgrade event, making it easier than ever to transform your space with our select finishes. Whether it's a walk-in closet, home office, pantry, or garage, our designs are about more than organization. They're about creating space for what belongs. We call it practical magic, expert design that feels effortless. Visit one of our 3 Tampa Bay showrooms or schedule your complimentary consultation today at CaliforniaClosetsTampaBay.com.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. Unique quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
With a fresh new look and over 60 years of keeping Floridians comfortable, Cool Today is the name to trust for fast same-day service. Cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Our friendly expert technicians take the hassle out of home repair today. And Cool Today is here for you tomorrow, too. That's why